settling, as if her chest might implode at any moment. She hadn't talked to anyone about it, but maybe she should. The truth was, she struggled with loss, which is why she worked hard to keep the circle of those she cared about as small as possible. Operation Crusader had robbed her of her brother, and in the aftermath, she recast herself. The woman she was today, the one with her cheek pressed into the stock of a SIG 716 DMR-G2 sniper rifle, would be unrecognizable to everyone she knew 3 years ago. Elizabeth Grimes was fiction, an attempt at self-preservation so she didn't fall to pieces. Grimes wasn't even her real name. But what was a name anyway? She could barely remember what it felt like to be Kelsey Clark, what it felt like to be that weak. She'd said goodbye to that person forever, just like she'd said goodbye to childhood when she became a teenager. Get your head in the game, girl. She blinked to bring the image in her Tango 6 rifle sight back into focus. She was stretched out prone atop a dining room table in front of her hotel room's open balcony door. The warm Gulf air only barely offset the furiously running AC unit, but she felt comfortable in her tank top and cargo shorts. She scanned the gray sand beach in the near distance where a contingent of men, dressed in Hawaiian shirts that barely concealed the weapons they carried beneath, provided security for a makeshift beach camp. 4 oversized canopy tents had been pushed together to make a large, shady structure. In the center lay Manuel Rivera, enforcer and operations officer for the Gulf Drug Cartel. The bloated man had a drink in one hand, a cigar in the other, and laughed with his lackeys as a scantily clad, dark-haired beauty massaged his hairy shoulders. That this man ran a steady supply chain of heroin and fentanyl across the United States southern border was reason enough to despise him. But as the Gulf Cartel's operations officer, he also had intimate knowledge of the training camps his narco-terrorist brethren ran deep in the Central American jungles for Hamas and Hezbollah. He knew not just the where and how, but also the who of the cartel's most dangerous partners. And he knew the details of how the cartel, for a sizable fee, would facilitate bringing jihadists across the southern border and into the U.S. During her first 6 months with Ember, she'd helped foil multiple attacks inside the homeland when another cartel had moved terrorists across the border. The National Counterterrorism Center, or NCTC, was concerned that the Gulf Cartel was repeating history, so Ember had been dispatched to Veracruz for a snatch-and-grab mission that felt almost guaranteed to not go according to plan. She shifted her scan from the beach out to sea, where the cartel had 2 shallow-draft fast boats, not unlike the boats used by the SWIC operators of U.S. Naval Special Warfare, standing by as a quick reaction force. The boats bobbed just beyond the break, each loaded with a half-dozen men making no effort to conceal their automatic weapons. This QRF, sitting brazenly inside the hotel's designated swim area buoys, was her greatest concern. The heavily armed shooters could be on the beach in seconds to thwart Ember's exfil, which was why she had lobbied during pre-op planning to grab Rivera closer to the hotel. If he ever gets his fat ass off the beach. Eagle Redneck 1, sit rep, said Dan Munn's voice in her earpiece. The hollow in her chest pulsed every time she heard him use the handle 1, the designator that should have been Dempsey's, had always been Dempsey's, but now belonged to Munn. No movement, 1, she said, and raised herself off her long gun to rest on her elbows. And no sign of wrapping things up either. Check. Munn came back. She glanced at her watch, displayed in